80 years ago today, Allied forces landed on Normandy Beach in France to begin the liberation of that country.
Thousands of Allied forces died storming the beach in the operation, credited with helping turn the tide of the war. Veterans, politicians, and celebrities from around the world gathered in France to commemorate D-Day. President Biden and other leaders honored some of the veterans who were able to make the trip today. Holocaust survivor and World War II veteran Frank Cohn says he hopes future generations carry the legacy of D-Day with them.
I think the people who invaded on the Normandy beaches are the ones who need to get the credit that they started the process of assuring that we had liberty and our democracy. And it's up to the new generation to understand that and to preserve it and to carry it forward.
And it is believed there are around 110,000 American World War II veterans still living. And sadly, of course, thousands would never return from D-Day.
Well, a local man had just started his service, so he wasn't in on that invasion, but he was there for one of the final flights. And as Fox 8's Michael Hennessy explains, flight has defined his life.
We're hard to find nowadays.
More than 16 million Americans served in World War II. As of last year, there were fewer than 120,000 of them left.
My age is 98.
Frank Perry's one of them.
So we're a dying breed. You know, we're peeling off now and then.
In 1944, he was in a small town called MacDo, Pennsylvania.
I wanted to join the Air Force because I knew that if I waited to be drafted, that more than likely I would end up in the infantry.
That February, he got orders to report to Mississippi. When he got there, he found out the government didn't need any more pilots. So he approached one of his supervisors.
If you don't need any more pilots, I want to go to navigator school or bombardier school. And he said, son, the only thing I got available is gunnery school. So, you know, a macho 18-year-old don't have any sense anyway. So I said, I'll take it.
From there, his crew was assembled.
I trained on the ball turret gun position, which is the one that hung out underneath the airplane.
And after bouncing around, they flew their B-24 bomber east.
It took us 12 days to get from the U.S. to England, all these different weather and mechanical delays that we had.
D-Day had already happened. The German Air Force had been depleted.
We had total control of the skies at that time.
But he did manage to get into 2 combat missions.
The second mission was to Bad Reichendahl, Germany, which was way down below Berchtesgaden. There again was bombing railroad yards. And that mission, April the 25th, 1945, was historic, and that was the last mission that the 8th Air Force flew.
As he puts it, he wasn't there for the first, but he was there for the last.
I said, the airline industry is going to grow like crazy, and it did.
He got out in May of '46 with the rank staff sergeant, but decided he wasn't done with aviation.
And the Piedmont offer came in, and I took the job at Piedmont at Charleston, West Virginia.
Piedmont Airlines hired him, promoted him, then invited him to the Triad and the Flight Dispatch Office.
And I come to Winston-Salem in '52 and been here ever since.
He stayed until 1989, after being atop the seniority list for a decade. Fast forward to 2023, Perry learned about another flight.
9-day trip, all expenses paid. I said, wow.
American Airlines taking veterans to Europe, Paris.
Well, sure enough, we got selected, and come to find out that they're only taking 60 veterans.
Then Normandy, for a man who became a world traveler in service.
I can't imagine being bored in this lifetime.
It's more than just the next journey. It's a recognition, a ride of remembrance. In Davie County,
I consider this an honor and a privilege.
Michael Hennessy, Fox 8 News.
Perry did meet 2 other World War II veterans at a Richard Childress Racing Veterans event back in April. One was 97 years old. You heard Mr. Perry say he's 98, and the other was 101. So as Perry puts it, the 101-year-old outranked him.